All right, so I am currently working on the edging at the bottom of the gown, and I wanted to stop what I'm doing just to show you that I did stitch the first time on with the serger, just to show you that you can. You don't have to, but if you like working at the serger, you can sew it on with the serger. Then you're going to flip and turn the same as we did on the sleeve, and I'll finish that off, and then what we're going to do is pin up. We'll pin the last seam. Our last seam is going to be, come on over here, I'll show you. It's going to be that last underarm seam, and I just like to start at the bottom like that, and I want to get all this out of here. And you know what, before we do that, let's go ahead and we're going to want to trim that extra off. We do have you cut it a little big because you never know how thick the gown is going to be depending on what you're recycling. So I'll finish that up later, but I'll get all this out of the way for my seam so it doesn't get caught and I can't trim it. All right, so it's out of my way. Okay. Pin. I don't do as much pinning because this time the flap, this flap is on top where I can see it, so it's not going to want to get into too much mischief like it will when it's under. I just need to get this to lay where it needs to belong. All right. And then I have to manage this spot where I've got that cuff kind of pulling in. All right. Get a pin. Then we're going to go over to the serger and we'll serge that up real quick. Come on. Get those edges to line up. When we're done, we're going to have a couple seam endings that we have to secure because a serger, if it isn't being crossed over again, a seam that's ended or started with a serger, you do need to secure that seam. So I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. And on a serger, you really have to straighten, so this is straight, so that means you're bunching your project up over here on the left side like I'm doing. So what I'm talking about is now we're done actually with the sewing, but this serger seam is an end point. There isn't anything else coming by to secure it. So we're going to pull that tail in here, bend the seam over, and we'll do a bar tack across